So Scott Hudson was backstage in Russo's locker room when he found that it was trashed. And then he was like, I think Trio K did it. But then Kid Cash walked in and he's like, actually, James Storm did it.
Yeah, and he was like really mean to him too.
He was like, Storm sucks and I hate him. And next time I see Storm, I'm going to beat the shit out of him. Then Storm walks into the room.
Yeah, that was not smart. He also walked through a fucking like APA door.
Yeah, it's a sex locker room they're in.
Were
I think
they?
it was the sex locker room.
It just looked like there was a random door frame.
Yes, Cash said, next time I see Storm, I'm going to beat him up. Storm walked in, then Cash ran away.
This guy's a coward.
Chased into the arena, Cash and Dallas tried to double team Storm, but then Storm got away.
I don't really have much to say about this feud. It's kind of boring.
There's just a bunch of stuff happening. They have a match the next week. It's James Storm against Kid Cash. It's perfectly fine.
I thought that was a little fun match.
My favorite part is Mike Tenay on commentary mentions that you see the tape over Kid Cash's shoulder. He's been bitten by a spider.
Oh. Well, he was poisoned since birth.
That's true. He attracts spiders. It's not infecting him with poison. It's trying to take the poison out.
Is Kid Cash the Spider-Man?
Oh, maybe he is. Maybe that's why he's so agile and nimble.
That would make sense. Wait, maybe he was bitten by arachnid.
What?
Whatever the fucking Trinity gimmick was.
Oh, yeah, the masked luchador. I don't
Yeah.
think it ever had a name like Arachnid, but I'll allow it.
I thought it was a spider.
Mike Tenay even specified it was a brown recluse.
That sounds bad.
But yeah, he's wrestling.
Did you get bit by spiders?
I don't think so. I occasionally have insect bites, but I don't know what bit me. I don't remember ever actively being bitten by a thing that I saw what bit me.
You can tell.
I am not able to identify different insect bites. I'm not from the Australian outback.
I'm sorry, my Australian is showing, but
Yes.
I've been bitten by spiders many a time, and I can always tell because they suck and they last for days.
We only have small spiders.
They're itchy and they go hard, and it's gross.
Ugh. This is why I don't live in a hellscape.
I googled when was the last time an Australian had died to a spider bite.
Mhm.
I don't think it was ever a recorded case. Well, like not since like the 60s.
There's surely something.
Not in Australia.
Very good spider bite maintenance.
Well, we're probably prepared for it more than most.
So Cash faces Storm. Storm hit the 8-second ride. Dallas distracted the referee. Cash tried to hit Storm with the pipe-shaped nightstick, but then Storm got it there first with a super kick. Dallas then jumped him, hit the blackout, followed by a Cash frog splash. D'Lo made the save. Well, he tried to make the save, but then Chris Harris and Dusty ultimately made the save.
I forgot that Chris Harris was even involved at this point.
It took him ages to make that save. They were beating the shit out of Storm, and then D'Lo came out, and then they were beating the shit out of D'Lo, and then Harris came out like 5 minutes later.
Where was Sonny Siaki? Not Sonny Siaki. Where was fucking the other guy?
What other guy? Oh, Apollo?
Apollo.
Apparently he's working a lot of Puerto Rican dates and can't make it at the moment.
I just realized that Apollo looks like if Sonny Siaki was blown up with like a helium tank.
He kind of does. He just inflate the man.
If he was just like, if you went into Photoshop and you just dragged him out left and right.
You get Apollo. So Harris and Dusty made the save. Dusty Rhodes is back for the first time since December.
Like, not in a big, shocking way, you know? He just kind of showed up.
Well, they do explain that he is there as like sage advice for Chris Harris. That's the only reason he's there. He's like an advisor to hype Harris up for the title match that he has on this show. But then he comes out to help James Storm and gets involved in that story.
Well, he's a friend of AMW, as James Storm said.
Is he one of America's Most Wanted?
Oh, he was only referred to as a friend.
It's true. They're pals. They're buddies.
But maybe there's potential for something a little more. Friendships can blossom into something else. Being a stable, of course.
Yes, nothing else. Dusty Rhodes made it known backstage last week that he wasn't happy that he hadn't heard from anybody in the office in months. Rhodes felt nothing else TNA officials could have called to say that they wouldn't be booking him for a while.
Yeah, fucking keep Dusty up to date.
Don't leave Dusty hanging. He's Dusty. He was the best part of your show in 2003 other than Raven.
It's also Dusty Rhodes. Have a bit of respect.
So Dusty interrupts the on-camera plug for next week, the classic format, and then cuts a promo where he will face Kid Cash in Dallas with his pal James Storm in a bunkhouse brawl.
American Dreams Most Wanted.
He did a very good bit where he took his boots and hat off and then put his hat in his boots and said, "This is Kid Cash," because he's a tiny, puny man.
That's a good cartoon.
It was a good image, and he like laid down on the mat next to the boots and the hat and like, "Hey, tiny Kid Cash, how do you feel about this?"
Kid Cash don't get no puff air.
So the next week we have
That last little callback there. Gotcha.
we have Dusty and Storm against Kid Cash and Dallas in a bunkhouse brawl.
Cool.
They work a very traditional, normal tag, get the heat forever. Dusty actually never makes a proper hot tag. He's cut off like twice.
Yeah. I like this match, actually.
Yeah, it was a good little tag match.
Good finish.
You just have the inherent charisma of Dusty that just makes everything good.
Yeah. Also, James Storm in a tag match.
That also, and he's babyface in peril for pretty much the entire match too, which he's very good at.
And a great finish.
So yeah, they're working over Storm throughout the match, and that involves like working over his leg and his ankle, and in that process they take off his boot, so he doesn't have the boot for the last call. So Dusty's brawling out on the floor with Dallas. He takes out Dallas, then takes off his own boot, throws it to Storm. Storm puts on Dusty's boot, hits the last call, picks up the win for himself and Dusty.
It's one of those fun little facts that you can say Lance Archer worked with Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, and had some good matches in the process.
It's a fun little connection there.
So Storm and Dusty, by virtue of beating the tag team champions, have earned a tag team title shot on the first show of June.
What about the rankings?
There is no rankings. There's no other tag teams this month. Literally none.
This is the full division.
There is not a single other thing to talk about in the tag team division other than these handful of matches between James Storm and Kid Cash, Dusty Rhodes, and Dallas.
Listen, I don't know what happens, but I hope James Storm and Dusty Rhodes win the tag titles so I can have that fun fact of James Storm being a tag champion with Dusty Rhodes.
Well, you will see what happens in June.
I will.